She did. Gentlemen, once
Did they not?
They play much better except that game.
Sometimes the news, all right, last reaction.
Okay, we call the meeting to order. As a courtesy to everyone, please take a moment to silence any devices that may interrupt the meeting. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster, Incorporated on February 5th, 1819. We are gathered here at the historic City Hall, originally an estate built in 1842 by Colonel John K. Longwell. The city acquired the building in 1939, and has since been the venue where the mayor and council conducts its business. Now, we'll begin as we do every meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. One interesting fact about Westminster is Carroll County was founded on January 19th, 1837. Before there was Carroll County, this land was divided between Baltimore County to the east and Frederick County to the west. For nearly 50 years, residents of the Forks area petitioned the Maryland General Assembly for their own county and were repeatedly turned down. A vote to form Carroll County in 1833 actually failed by just 39 votes, likely due to voter irregularities in the Baltimore County portion. Finally, after more than half a century of effort, a bill passed the General Assembly in 1836, and on January 19th, 1837, Carroll County was officially formed. It was named in honor of Charles Carroll of Carrollton, a Marylander, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, which of course a bunch of us heard when it was read the other day. And at the time of his death in 1832, the last surviving signer. He was 95 years old. Westminster, already established near the geographic center of the new county, was chosen as the county seat. 1 year later, in 1838, the first courthouse was constructed, designed by local architect James Shellman, on the square that still anchors our downtown today. Moving on, the council typically convenes on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Please note these meetings are open to the public here at City Hall and are also streamed live on the county YouTube page, as well as the Community Media Center channel website. We extend our gratitude to the Community Media Center for their partnership in ensuring public access to these meetings. Copies of this evening's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using are available online at the city's website. Hard copies of the agenda are available here in the front of the room. We have one presentation this evening, and that's a mayoral proclamation, Parks and Recs Month. Mayor Becker.
Thank you, sir. So this is a mayoral proclamation in recognition of Park and Recreation Month, which is July. Whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of all communities, including the city of Westminster, and our parks and recreation programs are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens directly contributes to and enhances economic development. And parks and recreation programs build healthy, active communities that provide therapeutic recreation services, aid in the prevention of chronic illness, and help improve the mental and emotional health of citizens. And park and recreation areas are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community. And our parks and natural recreation areas ensure that the organic beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and participate in outdoor recreation. And the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month. And now, therefore, I, Dr. Mona Becker, Mayor of the City of Westminster, in conjunction with the Common Council, do hereby recognize the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources and proclaim July as Park and Recreation Month in the city of Westminster, Maryland, adopted the 13th day of July, 2026. Thank you, Ms. Hooper.
Thank you.
So. Would you like to say anything?
No, other than thank you for your continued support to allow the Restoration and Parks Department to enhance the quality of life in Westminster. We are very grateful to you for that.
And enhance it, do. 100%.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Now we'll consider the approval of previous meeting minutes. We have minutes from 3 meetings of the mayor and the council. A mayor and council meeting, mayor and common council meeting minutes from June 8th, 2026. Mayor and common council meeting minutes from June 22nd, 2026. And mayor and common council work session meeting minutes of June 22nd of 2026. May I have a motion to approve these 3 sets of minutes, please?
So move, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Huff. Is there any discussion regarding the motion on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes as written, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. We have one item this evening on the consent calendar. Is there, may I have a motion for approval of the consent calendar, please?
So move, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Dayhoff with the second?
Yes, sir.
Keep getting beat out there, Mr. Barrett. You gotta be quicker.
Sorry.
All those in favor of approving the consent calendar, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the consent calendar is approved. Now we'll move on to the report from the mayor. Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple things to report on this evening. First, on Wednesday, July 8th, I attended along with several other council members the reading of the Declaration of Independence on the steps of the courthouse. This event was hosted by the Masonic Lodge in Westminster, as well as the Legion, the American Legion, who provided the honor guard for the event. This was part of a larger event at 6 p.m. on January 8th in 1776. The first public reading of the Declaration of Independence was read to the citizens in Philadelphia. And so this semi-sesquicentennial year, we honored that by reading the Declaration of Independence at 6 p.m. on the courthouse steps. On Thursday, the Historical Society held a ribbon cutting event at their new facility. The crowd was great. They estimated that over 100 people showed up for the ribbon cutting. And that was followed by their quarterly Shaken and Stirred event at Covalent Spirits, which is always well attended. And the topic was revolutions. On Saturday, Saturday was a busy day throughout the city. Saturday, after the farmers market and hanging out in downtown for a little bit, I attended the Pride Festival in City Park. I went to thank the Western Maryland Pride Festival organization for hosting these activities. It was a festive event and well attended. I would specifically like to thank the Westminster Police Department, who greeted festival attendees at the Recreation Center entrance, and the group of officers at the entrance were offering to take pictures of festival goers under the Rainbow Balloon Arch, which I thought was really touching. And when Melanie and I showed up, Captain Peters offered to take our picture for us under the balloon arch. And I just want to say gestures such as these go such a long way in the LGBTQ community. And I wanted to let you know, and Chief, if you could pass that on, that the commitment of the police department to not only the LGBTQ community, but to the residents of Westminster is so recognized and so well loved by the residents. And so I think several people at the event spoke to me about the officers were at that event, and they support the Westminster Police Department wholly. I mean, it's such a great organization. So I want to make sure to please let those officers know who were at that event that it was recognized. And they are absolutely appreciated. Saturday evening was the second annual Toast to Italy event. The evening was perfect. It got cooler as the day went on. The tables were full of attendees and everyone was in good spirits. We spent some time strolling up and down Main Street a little bit. On the 2 blocks we had closed for the festival. We had some phenomenal food, a couple really great cocktails throughout the evening, and just had a really great time. And I do want to give a shout out on Saturday, Jake Fine, who did the music for both the Pride Festival and the Italian Festival, as well as having, I think, 2 events going on at Wakefield Valley that day that he coordinates, has just done a phenomenal job with some of the music in town. Speaking of music in town, yesterday evening, we attended the Bluegrass in Belgrove Square concert, which was well attended. The music was great. It was a local bluegrass player from lives up Uniontown Road. She just finished school at the Berkeley School of Music and is on her way to hopefully being in Nashville soon. And then finally, I know it was a long day for all staff on Saturday, so thank you so much for all your hard work this weekend. I tried to make sure to thank you in person over the weekend when I saw you, but in case I missed you, and if you're watching or check in on the minutes from the council meeting, I just wanted to know that I appreciate each and every one of you and your commitment to this city. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And we'll go ahead and continue because we're going to now move to committee reports, and the Arts Council is your report.
I have no report tonight.
Thank you very much. Economic and Community Development, Mr. Huff.
No report tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Huff. Finance, Mr. Pecoraro.
Nothing this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you. Personnel, Mr. Pecoraro.
Still nothing then, Mr. President.
Thank you. I do have a report for Public Safety. On behalf of the Public Safety Committee, I'm pleased to share some good news from the Westminster Police Department this evening. I'm extremely proud to announce that our new K-9 team, PFC Brandon O'Neill and his partner Odin, have completed an 8-week training program and are now fully certified by the North American Police Working Dog Association as a patrol and narcotics detection team. PFC O'Neill and Odin officially began their duties this past week and are already out serving the citizens of Westminster. For those curious, Odin is a 1.5-year-old Belgian Malinois German Shepherd mix who comes to us all the way from Hungary. I want to congratulate PFC O'Neill on this significant accomplishment and welcome Odin as the newest member of the Westminster Police Department. We are grateful for their dedication and know they will serve our community well for years to come. Public Works, Mr. Bayard.
Yes, we had a Public Works Committee meeting here last week, and we discussed 2 items. We're looking at the application of IA in the city, and in particular in the public works area. So the staff will be looking at one particular application that looks at pavement condition. So we'll have some further information about that in the future. We also discussed one potential project for the next year's capital improvement, which was the lime kiln that had been decrepit and fallen down, about the possibility of reconstructing it and relating it, tying it into the nearby rock park. So that's the 2 items. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Bayard. Just to be clear, you said IA, do you mean AI?
AI.
Okay, good. I'm
Oh.
thinking Hanson. In my mind, I'm trying to figure out.
That's internal affairs, but I didn't even Yeah, AI.
All of a sudden, we're gonna have a lot of investigations going on.
No, the police do a good job. You can't investigate them too.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to Recreation and Parks, and I have a report on that as well. On behalf of the Recreation and Parks Committee, I want to say that what an extremely busy summer it has been on for our Recreation and Parks Department. In the best possible way. Summer camp is in full swing. The municipal has been open every day, and the team has kept a full calendar of events going all season long. I especially want to highlight this past Saturday's Toast to Italy. By every measure, it was a phenomenal event. I received numerous accolades from residents and business owners alike, but one in particular stayed with me. Bernie Vogel, owner of Jeannie Bird's Baking Company, at the end of the event came up to me and told me that that event was the reason Saturday was the single biggest day in the history of Jeannie Bird Baking Company. In what entire 12 years they've been in business, he's never done as much business as he did on Saturday. That is exactly the kind of impact these events can have on our downtown and our local businesses. Much praise and my sincere thanks go to the Recreation and Parks Department staff for all the excellent work, along with all the other city staff who plays such an important role in making it a success. Okay, now we'll move on to the Technology Department. Mr. Dayhoff.
No report, sir.
Thank you. Intergovernmental, Mr. Huff.
The only thing I will mention is the committee recently had a meeting with our lobbyists. And believe it or not, we are already starting to game out things for the upcoming General Assembly session, not the special one in August, but for the normal one in January. So, I really appreciate, the mayor and Councilman Pecoraro's assistant in on that committee, and work really hard to try to make sure Westminster is well represented down in Annapolis when it comes to funding decisions and otherwise. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Huff. Now we'll move on to council comments and discussion. We'll start off with Council Pro Tem President Pecoraro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just add my thanks and congratulations to not just the Recreation and Parks Department, but the Police Department, everybody else involved with an amazing series of events we can culminate in instantly. I'm always reminded as I see everybody out there working ahead of time and during it and afterwards, how hard they work to make these things happen, and how we get to enjoy the events and they're working so hard, and how much I appreciate that. I think that the citizens appreciate it, and certainly as Mr. Kovach said, the business owners have their own special appreciation of that. But I just think these kind of events that create such a community feeling in Westminster really are what we're known for, and it wouldn't be possible without an amazing staff. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro. Mr. Dayhoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wonder how many people came to Westminster on Saturday. Because the Pride Festival was packed. We had over 100 vendors in the playground. And then for the Taste of Italy, Main Street was also packed. And I went into Jeannie Bird on purpose to get some gazpacho soup, and the counters, he was completely sold out of pastries and other items. He was just effusive as to how good they and a number of the other vendors said the same thing. So it was a lot of good events. That'll be my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Mr. Huff.
Again, I will just add in, I really commend our staff, Parks and Rec, streets, public works, the police department, everybody involved in the events that we have. While the Pride Festival is, not an official city event, we still staff it from a public safety standpoint, which I think is very important. And it does make, having attended there myself, I think it's good to kind of make people feel comfortable and safe. And then the Toast of Italy, just a phenomenal event. And what I really enjoy about it, I love our strolls, but the Toast of Italy is a different kind of vibe. And there's a lot more just sitting around, people talking to each other, neighbors talking to each other, and just a wonderful vibe and kind of a different kind of vibe than our strolls. And again, I've said this numerous times over the years, but we are so lucky here in the city of Westminster, because I really believe we punch well above our weight when it comes to the kind of events that we have. And as the council president mentioned, with Bernie having like one of his best days, it's not just, it's for the community at large. It's a way of showing off the community, but there is truly an economic development component to what we're doing with that as well, that I think is so vital to our downtown and helps make our downtown special. So I just commend everybody's involvement with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Huff. Mr. Baird.
Yeah, just reiterate kudos to everyone, and I'm not gonna talk too much about the various events the mayor touched on, because I was at all those events too. But there was a couple of things that really stuck out at the Shaken and Stirred. The mayor of New Windsor had talked through the history of all the African American leaders in our county, and it was a really good presentation he did. And quite a few, in fact, many more than I knew about. I really appreciated that. And at the Taste of Italy, sometimes I'll just walk up and start talking to people I don't know. And there was two people standing there, and I said, "How did you hear about it?" And they said, "We hear that Westminster has really great events, and that's why we come." I'm like, that says it all to me. So these are people who just heard about us from previous events. Maybe they've been to one, and that's why they came. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Baird. I have nothing else. I think it's all been said, so we'll move on. Let's move on to bids. We have one bid this evening on the agenda. It's the award of a bid to Driven Pavement Maintenance and Services LLC, doing business as Everline Coatings and Services, Baltimore Northeast, for the fiscal year 2027 annual road striping in the amount of $69,329.89. Public Works Director Riddle.
Thank you, Mayor and Common Council. The FY 27 operating budget includes funding for our annual road striping, which is the refreshing of double yellow lines, solid white lines, and broken white lines on all city streets. The city issued a request for bid on April 27th, 2026, and bids due on May 28th, 2026. Bidders were requested to provide pricing for the FY 26 annual road striping contract. The city received one bid for this project from Driven Pavement Maintenance and Services Baltimore NE in the amount of $69,329.89. City staff have evaluated references and pricing from the bidder. Driven Pavement Maintenance and Services LLC, DBA Everline Coatings and Services Baltimore NE, and finds them to be a suitable contractor for the project. The FY operating budget includes adequate funds for this item. Staff recommends that the mayor and common council accept the bid by Driven Pavement Maintenance and Services LLC, DBA Everline Coatings and Services Baltimore NE in the amount of $69,329.89 for annual road striping. Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve the bid, or the contract, I mean?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Baird. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dayhoff. Any discussion related to the item on the floor?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Pecoraro.
Thank you. So I'll just note that the bid came in, comfortably under the amount we had budgeted, as you know. Background to it. I'm just curious if Ms. Riddle has any thoughts on why we only got one bidder. I would have thought that there'd be more interest in too small a contract, or that people, we didn't get a lot of interest, or.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Ms. Riddle hasn't been here long enough, maybe.
That's good.
If that's okay, I'll.
That's fine, that's fine.
There was a time, not too long ago in my tenure here, when we were able to pay for this without going to bid. This used to cost under $20,000 regularly. I don't know why it's over 25 now. These companies generally don't want to submit a bid paperwork because they're not used to submitting bid paperwork. Because it's a fairly new thing that the prices are so out of control right now. So that's my instinct as to why. It's
Right.
more of a formality in order to meet the procurement code.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
I'll just comment that, owning a business that does work for, I don't do any work for the city of Westminster by choice, but I do work for other municipal and county and even some state work. And I will tell you that there are things that, just like Ms. Imhoff said, we just don't bid on them because we got so much other stuff going on. Sometimes it's just, the juice isn't always worth the squeeze. I'd like to, but you only have so much capacity to do paperwork when you're trying to do everything else. And my guess is it's exactly what you said. They're just busy, and it's not part of what they're normally doing every single day. Whereas other types of businesses, that's what they do every day, is they bid on stuff. So I think you're absolutely right. Then maybe over time, we'll start getting more as it becomes a more commonplace thing for that industry. I will say one thing, I'm excited to see this. I didn't quite realize the importance of how critical striping is until my wife got a brand new vehicle that's autonomously driven. And it relies on those lines to some extent. Because it'll be driving away, or driving along, and all of a sudden, when the lines disappear off the road, the thing starts getting a little wonky on me. So, yeah, I'm glad we're doing that.
Have an autonomous, I recall a time where I remember you saying you would never have an autonomous vehicle, I think.
No, not me.
Or maybe it was electric.
No.
I don't know, huh?
Council President,
Yes, Mr. Huff, go ahead.
one additional question, Zen Holmes. Does this do all the lines within the city or just a portion of them?
This is for the line work from the paving that we did last year. We bid this last fiscal year, but we weren't able to get it in front of you until this fiscal year. So this doesn't cover the paving that we'll do in this upcoming fiscal year. We'll have to come back, bid it again, put it in the budget again. So we're using fiscal year 20's money to finish out fiscal year 26 paving.
So when the new paving is done, we obviously have temporary lines on that, or are these more permanent lines, or?
If you think about Green Street right now, I don't know if you've been over there in the last month or so, there are no lines or a random dot here, or it's a little dash here. This is going to put yellow lines down Green Street and white lines down Green Street and all the other places that we have paved recently.
Gotcha. So because when we agree, it's just temporary stuff and then we go back and do this.
That's right. I think it makes sense that the contractor who does the paving should put the lines down, but that's not the way it works. The people that put the lines down are a whole different company, and all they do is come in, put lines down, go someplace else, put lines down. They don't do any of the paving.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
No, we didn't expect this much discussion on lines.
I was just curious.
Well, I will tell you, it wasn't until the 1950s they started lining roads, and as soon as they started lining them, the accident rates decreased significantly, almost immediately. And it was one individual was the guy pushing for it constantly, and all the governments kept telling them that, not worth it, we're not doing it. Finally, one place did it. He funded it himself. I think he put money up to fund a certain amount of miles of pavement, and accidents reduced significantly after lining roads. That's important. All right, I'm wasting way too much time.
Sorry, something I didn't.
Anybody else want to talk about? It's like a discussion we've had for months. I read it somewhere.
I know he was there.
Okay, let's get this thing done. I think, so all those in favor, I think we've already had a motion. Yes, we have. Hearing no more discussion, we'll move on to a vote. All those in favor of awarding the bid, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the bid is awarded. And the best part is that concludes our business portion of the meeting, and now we'll move on to Ms. Impulse for reports from her.
Wrong meeting. Most of my report has already been covered by the council, but I'm still going to get it. That's okay. Coast of Italy was an absolute great success. As I think the mayor and many others have mentioned, it was a very long day for staff, very hot day for staff. Well, as Councilmember Huff mentioned, the Pride Festival is not a city event. There's a lot of city staff that go into supporting that particular event in advance of it and on the day of. And of course, putting together a festival or an event is a long process anyway. So staff were out in the heat all day long, and I want to take a moment to thank all of them, specifically, as you've all mentioned, the Recs and Parks Department, Public Works Department, Police Department, the Technology Department, which doesn't always get thanked, but it's certainly a big reason why these things work. And of course, the Finance Department, who was able to help out this year as well. The mayor mentioned in her proclamation tonight, I know this sounds like we've all coordinated our speeches. We haven't. I think that's actually kind of cool. The mayor mentioned in her proclamation tonight that the Recreation and Parks connection to economic development. And there is more than a crosswalk between recreation and parks and economic development. It is indeed a fuel. It is a driver of economic development, not just as Councilmember DeHaaf mentioned, all the number of people coming into town, but in all of those people then spending their money as well. It's certainly, we've seen that in the new folks that come in, that move into the city as well, as one of the driving forces why people want to come here and live in this community. So I want to take a big moment to thank Ms. Gruber, who's sort of chief in charge of all the fun around here. But again, to thank all of those staff that were involved as well, because despite Ms. Gruber's incredible efforts, if we didn't have 50 other people behind her, those things wouldn't get done. And finally, I want to take a chance to thank the community. I had the opportunity of hosting everybody at the VIP area for an hour, and it was so fun to see people so excited, bringing their coolers of I don't know what they made, and just excited to camp out at their table. So I often am the one who's getting everybody's complaints. That wasn't my responsibility on Saturday night. It was just to welcome everyone and hear about how great of a time they were excited to have. Okay, so with no further ado, we're going to turn things over to Ms. Gruber.
I think it's been said. I thank you for your enthusiastic support of what we do in Westminster, and of course, all of my fellow departments that are always willing and able to help out. There's so much that goes into these. It really does take a village. So thank you for that. We are bracing ourselves for another very hot week at the municipal pool. So that should be interesting. And we're also now shifting gears and looking forward to our ribbon cutting at the Durbin House, which is taking place on the 28th. So I hope to see you there. And I also hope to see members of our community enjoy that event as well, to see the restoration efforts that have occurred. That ends my report unless there are questions.
Are there any questions for Ms. Gruber?
I have one quick question. What's the expectation in terms of when we're going to decide who gets the contract award for that caretaker space?
I'm not sure exactly, but we're in the middle of recruitment right now on that, so we're not finished yet.
Oh, okay.
Soon.
So it's still ongoing.
It's
right now.
ongoing, yes.
Gotcha. Thanks.
I know we're all excited to get that position filled, posted, and moving on. All right, hearing no other items from Ms. Gruber, I am very excited to introduce you to our new Public Works Director, Ms. Leslie Riddle, who has decades of experience in the field. She's been with us now for about 3 weeks and has forgotten that she worked anywhere else. She's so excited to be here.
Thank you.
I'll turn things over to Ms. Riddle.
Thank you. First of all, let me say that I've landed in a pretty amazing space, pretty amazing place with, I think, some of the finest staff I've ever worked with. So that says a lot about the city. The other piece I have is that the clock tower is not operating right now. Got a report from Streets and we'll be looking at it first thing tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be offline more than 24 or 48 hours. So we're on. Thank you. That's all I have.
Are there any questions for the Public Works Department?
You would be amazed how many calls we're going to start getting within the next 24 hours. It's unbelievable how concerned people are about that clock tower, which is kind of cool, but yeah, like was always, we'll be hearing about it soon, I'm sure. It's great.
We have a full senior staff now, so thank you, Mayor and Council, for helping us get there. All right, let's move on to the Technology Department. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Boss. I do not have a report tonight, but I'm here if you have any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Moore? Hearing none, we will move on to the Housing Department. Mr. Friend.
Thank you. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the mayor and council for your support in our 5-year plan. We were able to get it submitted on time, and so it's in her hand. I don't expect any issues, but I think everything that we required was done, and we really do appreciate your support. So,
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Are there any questions for the Housing Department?
I have a question, Mr. Brown. How's the rental licensing part going right now? Because I know we're in the renewal period right now.
it's going very well. We've had good response. We, at this point, I think as of yesterday, as of this morning, we had over 600 landlords, not landlord, but units that have been paid for. So that's really good progress.
Is that similar to past?
It is similar. To be honest, I think it's a little bit ahead.
Oh, good.
We had a lot of good response from people and a lot of new people coming in. And the one thing I am surprised about, I thought the convenience fee would be a deterrent for people paying online, and it hasn't. A lot of people are paying online, sort of in line like they were before the convenience fee was imposed. But good progress.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Any other questions for the housing department?
Mr. President,
Mr. Dale.
I'm hearing that also about the Brazil. People are just going ahead and using the credit card. I heard that about the rental licensing also. It's just so convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not great. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the planning and economic development community something other department. Mr. Dino.
The Historic District Commission's July 1st and the Board of Zoning Appeals July 7th meetings were canceled as there were no applications before either group. On July 16th, the Planning and Zoning Commission is scheduled to review the revised architectural elevations for 404 Malcolm Drive, Medical Office Building and Daycare. This is the site of the old armory behind the 140 Village Shopping Center. And that completes my report.
Are there any questions for Mr. Depot? Thank you, sir. Hearing none, we'll move on to the Human Resources Department. Ms. Brown.
Good evening. I have no report this evening.
Any questions for HR? Finance has been given a much needed break for the evening. Are there any questions that I can relay back to the Finance Department? Hearing none, we are ready for the Police Department. Chief Price.
Thank you, ma'am. I was going to touch on the events of this past weekend, but I think everybody's touched on, from a public safety perspective, both events went very well. All staff came together and working as a team. So we actually had a lot of fun engaging in these community events. So, but that's what I'll say about them. This past week, we did launch a 2-week bicycle and e-bike traffic enforcement initiative in the downtown area. We've gotten a lot of complaints and we talked to a lot of people about the e-bikes and scooters and bicycles as such. So that will continue on this week. Officers are out there stopping, and I've heard them stopping them, just educating them on the proper rules of the road, that they can't be on the sidewalks, that they got to go with the flow of traffic and they got to obey the rules of the road. So that seems like it's going really well. At the end of the week, I'll get a report with how many stops and that nature. So hopefully the business owners and community members are seeing them out there trying to get some enforcement and education around this issue, which I know everybody in this room has got complaints about. But that concludes my report. So thank you very much. Let me know if you have any questions.
Are there any questions for the Police Department?
I have one. Chief, and you may not have anything yet, but what's the feedback been from the folks that are being stopped and kind of given that information? Are they receptive, push back?
They've been very receptive. A lot of them just don't know the rules of the road around, especially the e-bikes and the electric scooters and that. Yeah, they just assume that they can utilize the sidewalk. Once we tell them that, they've been very compliant, and they've actually been thankful. We've been giving them we made up a pamphlet of the different traffic articles and stuff that we can hand to them so that they can have something to reference and stuff. But no, there hasn't been any pushback or anything like that. And a couple of the business owners, especially like Jeannie Birds and all that, have been very appreciative of seeing the officers out there.
Great.
Thank
you, Chief. That's good.
Mr. President,
Mr. Dale?
may we see a copy of the pamphlet? I've heard good things about the pamphlet
Sure,
and the work. I got 3 complaints just today.
sure, I'll provide a copy to Ms. Impulse and she can send it on.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yep.
Yeah,
No problem.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
He just on the street.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions for the Police Department? Mr. President, that concludes the departmental reports.
Thank you very much, Ms. Impulse. Final item on our agenda this evening is citizen comments during which we invite the public to address the mayor and council on any issues related to tonight's agenda or any other matters. For those not attending the public meeting, you're welcome to comment via comments at westminsternb.gov. All emailed comments will be shared with the mayor and council. Could you please include your address and phone number with comments We will now invite comments from those present this evening. This is an opportunity for the public to share their thoughts with mayor and council. Our role at this point is to listen to your comments and respond appropriately after consulting with each other and staff. Is there anyone here this evening who wishes to be heard? Thank you very much. That concludes our agenda and meeting. Our next regular meeting will be Monday, July 20.